Hello, hello, hello again, everyone. I'm here today to do, as my theme for my next few videos has been the 6. I've just done the Life Path 6 guidance video, and now I'm doing the Mayan Calendar, the 6th sign, which is Cimi, or death or transformation. Death sounds like really horrid, doesn't it? But it's more about transformation. I think transformation may be a better name for it than death. Anyway, what I also noticed, just as a little aside, is how similar the Mayan numbers are to numerology. As you're going to notice in this video, that the number 6 sign of death has a lot of perfectionism and idealism within it. And if you are a Life Path 6, or you know anything about the energy of the number 6, you'll realise again that there's a lot of correlation between, say, Mayan astrology, the Enneagram, and numerology, and probably many more other than that. But anyway, that's just a little aside. Now, just before we continue, to find out your Mayan sign, I mean, I have a book of it all, but there's no particular formula that I know of anyway that I've really thought about working out. I would imagine there is a formula, but I haven't really sat and worked out what that formula is yet. But if you want to know what your Mayan sign is, there's great websites out there. Really, what you can do is Google search "What's my Mayan sign?" and you'll get a plethora of websites come up. My Mayan sign is a good one. And that's quite clear and gives you a good information about your Mayan sign. But there are many others that will give you what your Mayan day sign is, and then what Zolkin month you were born in, but then not all of them will give you your masculine, your feminine, your past and your future signs. So if you do a website search and you are a Cimi death sign, this video will be able to show you a little bit more about the death sign. Let's get going. Right, so I always start every single one of my Mayan videos with a little bit of information about the Mayans. The Mayans were from ancient Mesoamerica. They live in today's Mexico, Central America, Guatemala kind of area, the peninsula. They're very well known for their excellent knowledge of astronomy and mathematics. And over time, I mean, a lot of their culture and their, artifacts that would give us a lot more information about their culture was destroyed when the religious fanatics and the Europeans came barreling in. They destroyed a lot of their manuscripts and a lot of their history as much as they could. But we have managed to piece together the facts from speaking to indigenous people, looking at indigenous sources like manuscripts, inscriptions, and archaeoastronomers, ethnoastronomers and anthropologists and more study the Mayan culture. So the difference, I would say, between the Mayan culture and Western astrology. Western astrology is very good too. I'm very interested in Western astrology as well. And that looks at the astronomical cycles and the planetary alignments. But Mayan astrology it interprets blocks of time in like a cycle, which also resonates with me too. So the Mayan system is a series of groupings of days, and it's 260 days long. And what that is, it's 20 days or 20, there's only 20 day signs. So think all those 20 day signs. Okay, and each of those day signs has 13 days dedicated to it. So if you had a Mayan astrology reading, you would have a day sign, and you would also be born in a certain period in the Zolkin, which would be one of the 13-day cycles linked to another day sign. For example, my day sign is Road or Abe, but I was born in the Zolkin of the Serpent. So I was born within those 13 days that are dedicated to the Serpent day sign. Okay, so I'm a Road Serpent. Okay, 75% Road, 25% Serpent, but we'll get to that. So the most important one is then the 260-day cycle, which is your 20-day signs times your 13. And if you do your maths, you'll figure out that's 260. And that's known as the Tzolk'in, most important part of it. Okay, so as I've just said, the day sign, this is the most important part of your reading. This is 75% of who you are as a person. The year divides into periods of 20 days. There are only 20 day signs, and those 20 day signs loop in a cycle like Mayan astrology does. So each of the 20 day signs then has their own 13-day period, which is called the Trikana or the Tzolk'in. But for the day sign, that sign reveals important information about your destiny, your personality, your life mission, your strong and weak aspects, and it reminds you of your spiritual essence and your personal mission for this lifetime. So the Trikana, the one I keep going on about, the 13-day Tzolk'in calendar, is 260 days, 20 blocks of 13 days, as I've said. The Trikana sign that you're born in, or the 13-day period that you are born within, gives you integral information as well about who you are as a person. So as I've said, the day sign is 75% you, and your Trikana is about 25% you. So in a picture, your day sign would be in the foreground, and your Trikana, your Tzolk'in sign, will be in the background of the picture. So it makes a difference, but it's not the most upfront version of you. What you'll also get in your reading is what galactic tone number you were born in. So the tone number that you will get will reveal the relationship between yourself and the divine plan. So the tone is more like a mission given to you that adds to your day sign. And it's the energy that you radiate to people, society, and the universe. Okay. Right. So what is going to be the most important part of this reading is not only the day sign information, but also the masculine and the feminine and the past and the future, because they all have a major impact on you and your day sign. And you can't just say, oh, I'm a road, and then explain everything about yourself just because you're a road day sign. There are other elements involved, including your feminine, your masculine, your past, and your destiny signs. Okay, so these your past and your future signs, that helps you a lot with your spiritual evolution. You're under the influence of the past sign from all of childhood till you're about 13, give or take a few years, depends on the person. And you start feeling your future sign at around 40 years old. So your future destiny sign is like a new mission and a route to your spiritual development that you need to understand and realize, which is sort of added to your life sort of around the 40-ish age bracket, sort of give or take a year or two, again, depending on the person. Your masculine and feminine side, or your yin and your yang, these support your day sign daily. Okay, and they're added facets of you that you have to sort of take into account when you're thinking about your day sign and how that relates to you as a person. So your masculine sign is your extroverted sign. This is the side that the world sees. Everybody, like your colleagues, your acquaintances, people you work with, your manager, all these people will see these elements of you in the real world. Your feminine side is the side that you really only show to people that you feel intimately connected with. So this is going to be parents, husband, wife, children, best friends, anyone that you've got that intimate connection with. They will see that side of you that other people that are just your acquaintances won't see. I think that's everything. Yes, I think that is. Also relevant, and I always mention it because I am going to do future videos on the Lord of the Night especially. The Lord of the Night is also related to your birth, and it's a sequence of 9 days, again cyclical, symbolizing your deep, unconscious, hidden motivations or your dark side. Okay, so my Lord of the Night is G4, but I will talk a lot more about the Lords of the Night after I've done my 20-day day sign series. Solar years, again, they're in the background, because they're in 54-year cycles. Within each year has its own special quality reflected in your personality and character, but not so visible as your day sign or your Chakana sign. The phase of Venus, again, is like the solar years. It's sort of a background added herb to who you are as a person. So the phase of Venus is divided into 4 main periods. Each phase which a person's born under can offer insults into their social values and their role in society. But these are less prevalent in your reading. They are relevant, but not as strong as your day sign, your Trikana, or your galactic tone. Right, so just to let you know, there's 4 directions in the Mayan calendar, and the death or transformation sign, or Cimi, however you want to call it, that we're talking about today, relates to the group of day signs that relate to the north, and that sort of relates to separation and sacrifice, having an objective and bringing things into reality, into materialization. Other signs within the North group, or the white group as I often call them, are the other people that you are most compatible with if you are a Cimi, death, transformation, Mayan day sign. Okay, so just quickly going over, the Mayan name could be Cimi or Cimi. Again, people pronounce these words so different. It means death, which is more about transformation and starting something new, ending the old, beginning the new. As I've said, the direction is the north, and the element that transformation is related to is air. And the other signs within death or transformations, a day sign, are dog, Jaguar, Flint and wind. These day signs you would be particularly compatible with. Right, so the abilities and leisure I nearly said industries then, and leisure interests of the Cimi transformation death day sign is they're very skillful, very confident, very sensitive and wise leaders. I mean, that is the biggest thing for the death day sign, is their ability to lead. They associate themselves very skillfully with other powerful allies, and they're born diplomat. They're able to communicate with people skillfully in order to take themselves up the success ladder. They bring peace to good people. They have an amazing heart. You have if you are a transformation day sign, you have an amazing sense of duty. And it's that sense of duty and compassion and responsibility towards others that brings you abundance. As I've said, you're a very skillful diplomat, and you can communicate with all kinds of people. You can cooperate and get on with people from all echelons of society, whatever kind of background they come from. You're able to change your communication style in order to build rapport with these people. Your core intention is to make a difference. You're very achievement conscious, very what's the word? You like to achieve your goals. You have quite a strong will towards achieving your goals as well. You don't let your goals go easily. You're very interested in property and houses and community, and as well, you have a very strong faith because you like tradition. So religion appeals to you quite a lot if you're a transformation, death, Cimi day sign. You're very interested in politics and the community, even world events. And you have a lot of wisdom, and you're quite discerning in your way. So people go to you often for that little bit of advice, or, and help, because you come across to know what you're talking about. And that could be because you listen to your inner voice very, very well, and you're always looking to expand your consciousness. You're interested as well in philosophy. You love the occult scientists, and you would be a very, very powerful astrologer if you went in that direction. Very, very spiritually strong, potential psychic abilities if you develop that, very talented in that area, and quite an unseen connection to what isn't obvious, an unseen connection to the unseen, if you know what I mean. You'd be a very successful person because you achieve your goals, and you may travel for business or to help those in need. You're an amazing manager. You can be a mediator. You could own your own business very, very skillfully because of your discipline and your organization skills. And, in whatever relationship you have, you're the one that holds the power, and that is all feeds into your ability to lead others. You're so not a follower. Right, personality. Very, very security conscious, materialistic. Most definitely, you do like your designer labels and looking good in front of other people. So if you're like a successful manager, which many transformation death signs are, they'll have the nice car and the designer clothes and things like that. But they do know how to keep their ego in line. They're not egotistical with it, which is very good, to not be really like flashy and egotistical. They're very good at keeping their ego in check, even though they like their material little perks. Very self-sacrificing. You're helpful, you're polite, and sometimes you're so polite that you hide your true feelings in order to make others feel good or to give in to other people's needs and desires. You're very selfless, and you want to be a part of making a better family, a better community, and in some cases a better world. You put others' needs above your own. You'll save a loved one from troubles. If you can, you will always try and save your loved one from troubles. You'll always be there for them. You're calm, you're tactful, courteous, you're very patient, and you'll even forgive someone that lies and deceives you, which you can see there could be an issue there if you're always too forgiving and you're always giving up. But I'll talk a little bit about that in a little bit. You're more passive than you are aggressive, which feeds into the calm, tactful, courteous nature that gives in. You're quite the peace seeker, but you won't be forced against your will. You do have boundaries in that you won't be pushed around as such, but you do tend to do a little bit too much for others. You strive for long-lasting, loyal relationships, and you're a very romantic person. You like tradition, and you're quite conservative in your way. People can rely on you. You take responsibility, and you take responsibility very, very, very seriously. You're very honest. You have a strong sense of duty, intelligence, restrained, endurance, achieves goals with a strong will. You don't let your goals go easily, as I said earlier, and you will go to great effort to achieve success, and you're always open to those new ideas. In negative, you can be quite stubborn and uncompromising. If you experience loss, your sensitive nature can make that very, very, very difficult for you to deal with. It's hard for you to process in your mind. You're ever so sensitive, and that sense of loss does tend to sometimes override the death sign. You're perfectionistic as well, and you always feel the need to be in control, but having all those ideals and perfections can lead you towards disappointment. and lead you to criticize and judge yourself and other people if you're not careful. So you've got to be careful about those ideals and those perfectionist standards that you have, because that's why they're ideals and perfections. You know, who can live up to that kind of ideal or perfection? And then you end up disappointed or judging yourself and other people. So that's something that the Mayan death sign really needs to keep in check, and really feeds in as well to the numerology energy of the 6, who has similar ideals and is also similarly put on by others and gives too much. Very strong links here across the board. You feel obliged often to make sacrifices to others, and this can have a negative effect on your own well-being, and sometimes leads you to be resentful towards the people that you're helping. You need to face your imperfections. None of us are perfect. You need to face them head on and embrace a new way of doing things. You're not a victim, and you need to have more positive thoughts and like let go of the past and anything that negative that's happened to you in the past, and look forward, and it will help you to have a more joyful life. That I can assure you. Right, so an integral part of your day sign are your masculine, feminine, past and future signs. They're all added facets that add on to the death day sign. So the death day sign is always relevant. This is just what you show to the world. So the masculine is what you show to the world. The feminine is what you show to the people you love and the people that you care for. The past is what you shown when you were a child, and your future is your added mission as you move on past your 40s. So your masculine sign that supports the death transformation Mayan day sign is sunlight. Some people call it sunlight, some people call it sun, some people just call it light. The Mayan name is Ahau or Ahu. I've heard it pronounced in many different ways, as I have pronounced many Mayan signs. So this is the side of the death transformation sign. That is your extroverted, outgoing side, apparent in all your professional relationships and all your distant relationships, people that aren't necessarily intimate with you. And this is where on your masculine side, you show the energy of the light or the sun, Ahu sign, which makes you to the outside world very loving and devoted. You're artistic, dreamy, romantic. You're a loyal friend and a lover. That's how people see you in the external world. But they know that you'd be hurt badly if you were wronged by another person or left by another person. It's those ideals coming through again from your main day sign. You have unrealistic, perfectionistic, idealistic expectations, ideals on life and relationships, which often lead to disappointment. Because, you know, who can reach that ideal? Who can always reach that perfection? And you can end up very disappointed, judging yourself, judging other people, and always got that sense of disappointment of never quite making it. You can be obsessed with this future perfection and this future utopia, because, you know, you just want to change the world to be your ideal of perfection and idealism. You love art, you love beauty, you could be an artist, you could be a writer and an amazing craftsperson. I know a couple of sunlight people who are amazing furniture restorers and artists, and, you know, all kinds of things that you can create and do with your hands. They're very good in that way. You're very decorative. You like aesthetics. So if you were in business, you would make beautiful products. You're intelligent, you're determined, you're hardworking. But you do need to work on combining your realism and your idealism in order to have a more joyful life. compromise for the real perfection that you're looking for, which is happiness and joy. Your intimate side, your feminine sign. Now this is the road or Abe energy. Now this is the energy that only the people that love you will see. Okay. It'll be people in your family, it'll be close friends or very close neighbours, people that know you personally, and they know you behind the facade, behind the external show of your masculine sign. These people that are close to you will see this within you. Now this is from the road Abe or Ebb energy. So the people that love you see you as relaxed, careful, generous, very giving. You're courteous, you're helpful, but you're better at working and relating to others casually. You're very pleasant, you enjoy very good company. You make sacrifices to help others, which is very similar and sort of feeds in from the Death Day sign. You make sacrifices to help others, but you must take care that you don't take too many sacrifices and for your family and close friends and end up in a resentful situation, especially not with people that are very close to you. And this will be the side that people close to you will see. So you have to really guard against that. It's great to make sacrifices for others, but be careful that you're not going over into resentment and doing far, far too much. Relationships are the center of your world. You're an extremely practical person, an amazing problem solver. You would be a great designer, an engineer. You're very ambitious, very hardworking, and you achieve your goals, which comes from the Death transformation sign also. You like to get started. You like to get things done. You don't like hanging around. You're quite impatient with hanging around. You just want to get started. You just want to get it done. You prefer peace you prefer peace to competition and conflict, most definitely. You're quite emotionally vulnerable at times, and you can be hurt quite easily. So if a member of your family or a close friend does something, you can be quite easily hurt and upset by that. Very thin-skinned, very sensitive and emotionally fragile. And you can sometimes hold on to anger and resentment, but you know the road signs that hold that anger and resentment would be good if you vent that anger into hard work. And that is what the road or Abe energy does. They vent that anger into their hard work, which can only be good. Persistent, you get your goal achieved. You can be a bit of a slow starter, most definitely, but you do get that goal achieved. You're quite conservative by nature, and you just want peace in the world. Okay, and that's what your people that love you see you as. In your past, when you were a young'un, this is from birth, age to about 13-ish years, it changes for different people. You were a child that was actually quite mechanically and practically inclined. Now, your day sign is very practical, but when you were younger, you also had a mechanical edge to your abilities and interests. You were excellent at solving those mechanical problems. You may have liked taking your toys apart and putting them back together again. You were social. You liked to play with friends. You liked parties. Going to visit family, going to visit Nan or your aunt or your cousins. Social gatherings were very exciting for you as a child. You've always been well coordinated, good at sports, good at using tools, and quite talented with a musical instrument. If you put the time into it, you could be quite a talented musician because of your ability to work things with your hands and your fingers. Again, here comes the ideals again. You have ideals about relationships, but these ideals often conflict with your own needs, so you have to be careful of that as a young person. So your idealistic nature is present from your early childhood onwards. It's definitely a reoccurring theme for the Death transformation sign to have that idealism in their life. And I forgot to say at the start of this part, that your past sign that you had as a child, it's called Flint or knife or Esnab. I'm not sure. I haven't heard that said in many other ways. Most people say Esnab, but yeah, I've heard it called Flint more than knife. Knife more than Flint, I mean. But you know, there are often multiple names for these. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying. So those ideals are still flowing through your life, even from your early childhood. You used to put your own interests aside for others. You know, if one of your friends was crying or upset, you would be the one that would go to their aid and put whatever you're doing aside and put them first, which again is a recurring thing throughout your sign. But you can be emotional and you can kick off. When you were a child, you may have been prone to temper tantrums and getting angry and upset quite a lot. And you will avoid conflict in order to repress those emotions, because you know how upset and angry you get, and that anger feeling tends to linger and you don't really like it very much. So you will often avoid conflict where you can, so that these feelings aren't triggered within you. Interested in technical subjects when you were young, loving to discuss technical subjects, great with detail and quite self-absorbed. And even though surprisingly you were a child, you were probably quite conscious about what you looked like as a young person. So that was you as a child. But at around 13, you would switch to your main day sign. But at around 40 years old, you come to your future destiny sign. Now, this is just like a new mission given to you at around the age of 40 years. You need to understand these feelings and this new mission, accept it and use it to gain your spiritual evolution, because without this you will struggle to evolve and learn as a death transformation day sign. Now, the energy of your future destiny sign is the Jaguar, okay, and that's in the white group, which makes you very as you come into your 40s, you'll be more private, sensitive, but you've always been quite sensitive, so you continue to be very sensitive, but a very intelligent investigator. You may go more towards investigation as you get older. A strategist, good planner, good ability to think ahead and think of good strategies to move forward. You've got an aggressive nature, but again, just like your past sign, you do avoid direct confrontations because you know how angry and aggressive you can get. But you will fight to make a point if you believe you are right. You can get, because you do a lot for people, you can get a bit entangled in other people's lives and be a bit of a meddler. It's similar in the numerology 6 energy. You can be a bit of meddler and get a bit too over linked to other people's lives and give a bit of unsolicited advice at times. You base your security on your relationships, which can be quite a tricky one, because, you know, relationships can be quite dynamic, and it can mean that sometimes if you have an argument with someone, it can affect you quite deeply, especially if it attacks that core secure base that you have within you. You love unfinished business and opportunities. You're a healer with deep spiritual insight. So maybe in your future you need to start developing that spiritual side, which is evident in your day sign anyway. Religion, spirituality, psychic, intuitive things, that might become something that you get more interested in as you get older and into your 40s. You'll be able to read people better when you're advanced from your 40 years, and you could be very good counselor. Okay, so these are the skills you need to develop going forward. This is the energy of the Jaguar. Even though you are a death transformation day sign, this is your evolution. So this should be your focus as you move towards later into your life, for want of a better word. Now, I hope you've really enjoyed my video today. If you have, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, because I've got loads more stuff coming for numerology, for Mayan. I'm going to do some stuff on the Enneagram as well. So like my video, click the thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon, because that will keep you up to date with all my stuff that I'm going to be putting on very soon. If you want to contact me by email, you can contact me at katie@soulexplorer.net, or you can go to my web address, soulexplorer.net, which has got quite a few bobs and bits on it, and a link to my online wellbeing shop, which has all my aloe vera products. I'm also going to put in the description box links to Facebook, to my accounts on Facebook, Instagram, links, LinkedIn and Twitter, so that if you so desire, you can link to me on any of these social media platforms. I'll put a link to my Mayan sign, so you can click on that and find out what your Mayan sign is. If you have any other questions or anything else that you want me to send you, put them comments in the description box and I will be happy to help you. As ever, guys, trust the soul within you. Only your own intuition knows best. And my next video is going to be compatibility for the soul urge energy of the 6. Speak to you very soon.